It makes no sense. There's no, the science isn't there behind it. If they mandate that, it's going to be like 10 steps too far. And if that doesn't tip over everything, I don't know what will. But vaccinating kids, forced mandating vaccination of kids under 12, they shouldn't have done it to under 18s. Doing it under 12s will be way too far, and I hope that'll topple things. Anyway, all right. Pandemic bill, we all followed it in Parliament. Some of you have been telling me how you sat up all night watching us do it. I have my coffee now, so I won't fall asleep tonight. At least not till after I speak. We all fought hard against it, but on the day, the government had the numbers. They managed to pluck one turn right around for somehow. We won't go into that. The solution now, it's not over, but we have to change the numbers. So that government had the numbers in the Parliament. There's 2 elections coming up. There's a federal election coming up. It'll be in April or May, and then the state election in November. And we need to take that opportunity to change the numbers. We can send, if we vote for minor parties, I'll be clear, I'd really like you to vote for the Liberal Democrats. But if we vote for minor parties, we're sending a message to Canberra and also to Melbourne in the federal election. And then come November, it's our chance to sack Dan Andrews. So I want to say something about elections and voting. We have a preferential system in Australia. We get to number all the boxes, or as many of the boxes as we want in the upper house papers. So we have a lot of minor parties, and there's a lot of people say, oh, I like United Australia Party or Liberal Democrats or One Nation. Well, you can like all of them and you can number all of them, as long as you number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the minor parties that you like and keep the vote going down. It isn't going to matter which one you like the best. One of them, if you keep your preferences together for minor parties, one of them will get in. And that's the secret. What we have in Australia right now, we have this duopoly between Liberal and Labor. In Victoria, we have the evil Labor and incompetent Liberals. Federally, we have incompetent and evil Libs and incompetent Labor. It's a mess. It's a terrible, terrible mess. It needs to be smashed. The two-party duopoly has to be broken. And the only way we're going to do that is voting, and voting for minor parties, and keeping your preferences flowing through the minor parties before you go to the majors. All right. So that's almost all I have to say. One thing I'll mention now, one of my pet things, which has sort of gone in the back burner in the last 18 months because of lockdowns, is what I call Rexit. This is the idea of separating the regional areas of New South Wales and Victoria from the cities and making a new state with the regional areas. It's not regional Victoria that's voting for Dan Andrews. It's not regional Victoria that's voting to shut down the timber industry. It's not regional Victoria that's voting to destroy the irrigation, the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. All these things are being done to satisfy voters in the cities. They're destroying our local economies, turning the water off and letting us blow away to appeal to a few percent of green-leaning voters in the cities, and it's wrong. It's got to stop. We now have 77% of all Victorians live in Greater Melbourne, and the votes in the regional areas just don't matter. At this point, there's no way to fix it other than separating ourselves from the city. So we can make a whole new state, taking all the regional New South Wales and all the regional Victoria, where regional people have the power. We'll have our own new little capital city or capital town. I like Echuca on the river, but it can be wherever, I don't care. The details don't matter. What matters is separating ourselves from the city. So Rexit is the idea, and it can happen faster than you might think. I think that's pretty much all I had down here. We're watching, we have heard the government extended their emergency declaration today, whatever they're going to call it now. I've been hoping that they're going to quietly drop the vaccine mandates over Christmas, and maybe they still will. Let's see what happens if and when New South Wales drops them next week. If that goes ahead, that's going to put even more pressure on Victoria to follow along, and it might just happen. But if it doesn't, and even if it does, we have to keep fighting to stop this and stop this ever happening again.